Hi, I'm Old Sneelock. Welcome to another episode of Old Sneelock's Workshop. That washer helps keep it centered when I spin it. And I want to have these two inboard here so that they're out far enough away from the edge so it won't splinter out. These bolts are long enough to stick out just far enough to do what I need to do. Come through with the back side. Get rid of that little bit of glue there sticking out. And I'll clamp this down again. Once you've made the first one, the subsequent ones are not anywhere near as difficult. Okay, let's try this again. Now I have the base. This hole clears the edge. And when it's spun around, they line up over the top of the three holes that I put in just fine. Okay. Now we'll drop this in. And the washer will hold it fairly close to the right point where it's going to line up over the screws. Now I put big washer and a fender washer. Now I suppose I could make a plug that lined up exactly. I don't see the need. There. Now loosen that up just a little bit so this will spin. That piece of wood there's in the way. And some of these screws are out just a little bit too far. I don't want to have them sticking out at all. Yeah, I want them to spin around easily. Now I flip the fixture over. Now I want to put those pins in there with the springs mounted on them. Then I spin it around and drop that in underneath like that. And spin the next one around. Once again loading it like a revolver. Got some debris down in the hole. This pin fits very snugly through that hole. There it went. Okay. Now we bring it around. These line up. Double check, make sure I got a good fit on everything. Things are lined up where I want them. Having that center bushing would make a difference. Now this bolt's snug down. Everything's locked in place. And these are almost high enough to put the clip ring on, but they're not quite. But that's easy enough to fix. I just run this down a little bit. Now, this develops a tremendous amount of pressure. If this thing bottoms out, I could snap that casting. So I probably have to put a limiter on that. Perhaps a washer under the screw. And now I have this set at just exactly the right height to slip that lock ring in, clip ring in. And everything goes together just so easy. Actually, I could clamp that down like that to put these screws on. Now I know that this is a good limit. I'm going to measure each one of those and put a washer underneath the head of those 1/4 inch bolts underneath there. Now, I can take them all up at once, exactly the same distance, by just loosening this screw up. And there we go. Pins in place, just like they should be. Clip rings are secure. Life is good. This is 3/4 inch plywood. Fairly secure stuff. Not gonna bend or break on me. As long as I don't get carried away tightening that up or tightening these up, because I have a tremendous amount of pressure that I can apply with these screws. Even though they're just 1/4-20s, just little tiny things, each one collectively, each one individually can't put a whole lot of pressure on it. But when you put all three of them together, once this one is tight and you tighten this one, it puts more leverage on this one and it can crack that board. So I'm going to grab some washers. These two, pair of them under each one of these screw heads. It's going to be sufficient. Yep, that's going to work just fine. down below the surface. I want to disassemble it, so I just set it back up. Put the top on it. Oh, I can see an error coming here. Did you see what just happened? Of course you did. I tightened that up. I shouldn't tighten it up like that. I should set this up on top of the screws with that loose. Then bring these screws in flush. Leave that plenty loose. Set these over the top of the other screws. And then lock it down this way. That way those little clip rings stay up on top, still easily removed, but not likely to go flying off. Now to disassemble, I'm still going to need to loosen those screws. Now to reassemble, I'm going to need to loosen those screws. But let's see. I know I'm going to be putting number 1 in there with that flush. Number 2, number 3 in there. Flush on the inside. And number 2 right there. Flush on the inside. Number 2 likes to fall out. Actually, all of them do. Once I get this cleaned up, it's going to want to come apart. So rather than trying to do that, I should do this. Number 3 is the one closest to the edge, and this part of the snail, little scroll in here, right there has come closest to the edge. So if I put this here, there they go. Yep, that'll pivot. Now, I see the simple solution to getting this lined up. But sitting like this, I can see right down through the holes and go, oh, those are lined up just right. Now I can see, oh, that's not lined up, but that is. Even with the pins in, I can see that clearly. Okay, now I bring my ear out and I put the pin in, like so. And once again, we do the little thing. We spin it around, get the other hole out. Third hole out. Oh. Oh no. Well, failure mode. There it is, back again. Now, I will put the spring in. Blow the dust off the spring, put the spring in, and I have the pin right there. If I push it down like that, and spin it around and line up those lines, all three lines are lined up. Take the 7/16 wrench and I carefully tighten that screw up. Keeping track of that to make sure that it goes into the hole and pushes on the pin. Even though I have a fairly good sized target and I have them lined up, it's always good to be absolutely sure you're doing it right. Take it down until the bolt touches the two washers. That sets the depth. Get this around where you can see it. Tight enough. Now, these washers go on there. Once again, we follow this path. This washer goes on there. And this washer goes on there. And now I take the 1/2" wrench and I loosen this screw up. Now we have it exactly where I want it. Three washers, more than enough. Only got to bump it out just a little bit to make that so it fits. Or I could put in shorter bolts. Shorter bolts makes better sense. And there we go. There. Done. I successfully transferred the dirt from the wrench to my hands. I think this job is done. Well, this was a long drawn out project. It involved a couple of days of searching for springs. Nobody to blame but myself on that. But I have a nice Craftsman, and this is only a 3/4 inch die. It's all the dies I have for it. It's probably at least 3 other sets. I think it goes up to 1 inch, but it can't be sure. I have to do some checking. In any case, it's a nice two-handed pipe threading die, and it's got a really cool alignment collet here that lets you center the pipe in the die so it cuts a straight thread. That's a big plus on any pipe threader. Most of these, this style, this same casting is sold by several. There's a Reed, and I believe there's an Ideal with the same casting on it. The Reed threading dies that I've seen have fixed collets that go in here, just like that 2-inch threading die over there. Craftsman, Toledo. Working my way up to a full set. So perhaps I need to make some 2-inch threading dies, alignment bushings for that. Because right now all I have is the 2-inch die that'll work in it. So I can cut 3/4 inch, and then I have 1/2 inch, and I believe there's a 3/4 inch threading die for that big die over there. So gaining just about the time I get a full set, they'll have stopped making pipe altogether, and I will have spent a great deal of time, effort, and money. Well, hardly any money, but a lot of time and effort getting these working. But it's been an interesting trip, and if you have any suggestions for new video, questions about today's video, or any of the other videos on the channel, just drop a note in the comments. You know I read them all. Thanks for watching.
This video is not to be viewed by anyone under the age of 13 in the U.S. or 16 in the European Union without the express written permission of the parents or the legal guardians of the underage person. Such written permission must be on file at the local government entity in charge of enforcing the rules and regulations established by the FTC. Anyone violating these terms is admitting by default that they hold harmless the owners and operators of this channel. Any and all questions should be addressed to your local branch of the FTC.